If you've been watching this channel for a while, you will know that over the last couple of years I have dabbled with ICM photography, intentional camera movement. Now the problem I've had with it is whilst I've loved the results, I've found the process a little bit hit and miss. So I've come back to my local nature reserve, which you've seen plenty of times in recent videos and past videos. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to practice a new technique to me, which I'm hoping, whilst the results will be quite similar to intentional camera movement, ICM, I'll actually have a bit more control over the final output. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take multiple exposures and blend them into one single shot. Now I'm going to do this in camera with this little camera in my hand, and I'm also going to do it in Photoshop. So basically the techniques I use in this video you can actually use at home, whether you've got a camera that can do multiple exposures in camera or if you have to do it externally. Now this has been a bit of an eye-opener for me because I didn't realise that all modern cameras don't have multiple exposure modes. And I looked at the Sony a7C II, which is my video camera, expecting that to have multiple exposures, and it doesn't, you can't do it. So then I looked at my Pen F, and my Pen F will allow me to do it, but will only allow me to blend two shots. And so then I looked at this little camera, which I'm trying out for a brief period of time, which is a Fujifilm X-E4. This will actually allow me to take 9 photos in camera and blend them in camera to produce the one single shot. So I'm going to try that mode first of all, and then I'm going to try doing a bit more of a trial and error method where I photograph the shots individually and then piece them all together in Photoshop. As you can see, the flowers are looking really nice from above. I'm just using the standard 18 to 55 kit lens on it, so I'm not using any sort of macro lens. So you can pretty much replicate this at home, regardless of whatever lens you own, to be honest. First thing I need to do is put this camera into multiple exposure mode. And now it's a question of finding a suitable patch of flowers. What I want to try and do is I want to try and create almost a patchwork effect of all these flowers. So create layer after layer, so you almost get like a wallpaper of these white flowers. An impression of the flowers though, I think this is a bit like ICM. This is all about giving a sort of impression of the scene as opposed to actual a pure photograph. We've just been a little bit more creative, I suppose. So let's take the first shot. Click out to that, and straight away you can see I've got an overlay going on. And now I'm going to start trying to fill these gaps in a little bit. And you see what I'm doing? I'm literally just moving, not much, as you can see on the screen. I'm not moving myself much. I'm just trying to, I'm actually trying to fill the gap towards the top right hand corner at the moment to try and get in the right place. And I'm going to keep very close to there because I want to. Yeah, I think that's nice. I'm going to click OK. The camera will create the shot, and what it does, it blends all the shots together like you would do in Photoshop, which we're going to cover in a few minutes. And here's the shot, literally straight from the camera they've taken, on the screen for you guys to have a look at now. So the subject for the next shot is going to be a lot smaller, as you can see. These are really small, delicate flowers, but they're really beautiful. Right guys, first of all I must apologise for sounding a bit croaky. One of my lads has actually been ill, and I think he's actually done the charitable thing and shared his bug with me, so I'm hoping I don't get too ill before the weekend. But we shall see. Right, so the camera is still in multiple exposure mode. I'm going to go up to normal still image. So what we're going to do now is we're going to mimic exactly what I did before, apart from I'm going to take my 9 shots in a normal single frame, one at a time, and then get the 9 shots, then combine them in Photoshop. So, but it's the same idea. I've put a macro lens on actually because it's a small subject, as you can see. So I need to find the right way. And I quite like this patch here, I think. So, because, as you would have seen earlier, I have no sort of means of telling the shot I took before. So with the, previously, when you saw me doing it in camera, it came up with an overlay so I could see exactly where I was laying the things on. So this is going to be trial and error. So I'm going to shoot a little bit wider so I can move any shots around if I need be. I'm hoping I don't. And I'm essentially going to cycle through these 9 shots quite quick. Now there will be a bit of movement, and that's fine. You will have noticed I've tried to keep the focusing point in the same spot and focus on the same flower to try and make my life a little bit simpler. So what we need to do now is we need to go back to the computer. Right, so as you can see, I've got the 9 images selected. Now the JPEGs, I was shooting JPEG and RAW at the same time, but I'm just using just the JPEGs. So now I'm going to open as layers in Photoshop. And it's just going to, as you can see, it's just loading the layers. Right, so I've got the layers loaded. And what I'm going to do now is select all of them. And as you can see, I'm going to try see what options I have over here. I think I'm going to do it one at a time, and this may not be the quickest way of doing it. So I'm going to deselect every layer, then I'm going to choose the top one, and we shall just go lighter, and we'll do that with every one. So basically what I'm doing is I'm choosing a blending mode, I'm going for lighten, and I'm dropping the opacity down to about 15%. I'm going to do that with everyone. There probably is a quicker way of doing this, but I'm trying to have a little bit of control at the same time as doing it. See, we're sort of getting that sort of dreamy. Real dreamy look about it, which is really nice. I actually really like it. And now the last one, I'm wondering if we didn't went for a different blending mode. And I'm going to go through what we've got here. You know, some interesting effects, as you can see, just going through. I think we're going to go for light and the same. I'm going to play with the opacity. No, I'm going to go for darken. You can see, yeah, it's getting quite. You know what? I'm going to go for that. Crop. I may go for. No. Yeah. It's quite nice. Crop that. Flatten image. Save. So just let that do its stuff. There we have the file we've worked on. I quite like that actually, it's quite different, isn't it? Just in a quite bit of a play. You know, it's a bit like the ICM effect, isn't it? We're not trying to get a normal shot of the flowers at all. Just something a little bit different. As you see, I've just tweaked the contrast a little bit. And the final thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a vignette. Could go lighter, go dark, I think. Bring down the highlights. And here is the final shot. Right guys, so I hope you enjoyed that shot. I think this is going to be my last one. There's, as you will see down here, if you look through the camera view, there's these gorgeous daisies with sort of pinky purpley petals. So I think this is going to be another nice one for the last multiple exposure. Same technique, in camera this time though. 9 shots. So as you can see, I'm just trying to get my angle right. I'm going for this sort of blanket of daisies again. Now I should have said that I've got this camera to set up to average blending for each layer. So when it combines them all, I think it averages out the exposure to give you a correctly exposed one. You can do darken and lighten, and I'm going to have to look into that into the future because it's not something I've actually played with. I'm just going for average. So, first shot. Oh, I've got to be back into, apologies, back into multiple exposure. Right. First shot. I'm trying to, this time, keep it quite close, I think, so almost like an ICM effect, I suppose. Okay, so have a look at that. Quite nice. I'm going to try it again, just so you get more of an idea of what I'm doing, and so I get an idea of what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm going a little bit further back this time. And I'm going to do it quite similar to how I did it when I was doing the manual blender, in that I'm going to do it quite quickly. What I'm finding is quite hard to see, as I'm building it up on the screen, what the final thing's going to look like. But I think I've got one out of those two that sort of gives me the feel that I'm trying to look for. As I say, I'm just trying to be a bit creative with my wildflower photography, really, and I think this could be a nice technique to use, not only for flowers but also for bigger landscapes. But enough of the waffling, and here's the shot. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed those shots. I know this video has been a little bit shorter than normal. I do apologise for that. As you can hear, my voice is going. But you know what, it's been nice just to get out for an hour, do some photography, experiment a little bit, because I love experimenting with photography. I think your static, sharp, super sharp shots are great, but sometimes it's nice just to do something totally out of the ordinary and just create something a little bit different and just have a bit of fun, because you know, by now that's exactly what I think photography should be. It should be just about having fun. Anyway, I've enjoyed this technique. It's definitely something I will come back to, and no doubt you will see it in future videos. And on that note guys, I'd like to say thank you for watching this one. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll see you soon for another one. Thanks for watching.